My name is Richard Thomas England. I didn't try to do all of this in one day. I did it over a couple of years or more, and I'm still working on it. So it's a work in progress, really. Basically, what I did is anytime that I felt like I had nothing else to do, I'd just sit down and work on this. And it's been a good pastime, and I've enjoyed doing a lot of it because it brings up a lot of good history and memories to put all this together and put it in order, and enjoy some of the old photographs that have been pushed aside for years. I got started with the archiving when I was trying to organize all the family photos, which there are a lot of from over the years. And so basically I started by making a calendar of all the years, then trying to fill in all of those years with what happened during those years, actually from the day you were born. If you can remember back when you were a child, and things that happened during your life, like going to school. What year did you graduate, and what year did you get a degree? Holidays, activities, when people were born, and when people died. Some of the important clues that I had from memory was like, what year did I buy a new car? That filled in that little period of time because I knew some of the activities I had done associated with that car. And I keep calendars. One of them, here's the current one, if you can believe it. I've kept calendars, schedules like that for years, and I went back through all of those, and there were a lot of notes in there that were real helpful. And so if you kept a calendar or a journal over the years, it certainly helps to be able to go back and look through there and see what happened, at that time. I had a lot of dates that were cemented in place by Social Security records, but they have a complete list of all the places you worked and the dates, of course. So that was really helpful. Some of the photos were just like a pile of photos that you have to sort out and figure out. And I think the best way to do that is try to date them. I actually had packets, envelopes, and even little plastic drawer files that I would put them in to try to get them in a general order. Then take each batch of those and try to sort them out and get them in a chronological order. And of course, if you have events like Christmas holidays, stuff like that, you can pretty much piece those together easily. And then some of them are a little more difficult. So there are a lot of ways to just look at a photograph and kind of guess the age of it when it was taken. Some of the photo processors would stamp a date on the back of the photograph, so you could actually look at the photograph and see when it was processed. Of course, the actual date it was taken was before that, but that give you a close proximity of the date when it was taken. Some of the other clues that I used were like, just how old a person looks in a photograph. Were they, did they look like they were 12 years old or 15 years old, or, and some of the photographs had clues like, locations. Some of the locations where they were taken, may not even exist anymore. So you go back and think about what was this place like at that time, and what was the year models of the cars in the photograph, or just what years did you do certain things, like were you playing music at the time? Some of those things are clues. We took a lot of photographs when we were on vacations, so the places we went were a good clue to the time it took place. I spent a little time on active duty in the Army Reserve, and that cemented a little space in time. One thing that makes this process easier is to have photo albums that have been dated and sorted and put in place, and that's something that this family did for a while, and that really helped a lot, that I could look at those photo albums and actually even take some photos out of them and scan them to make them digital and put them in order. So I have all of these pretty much in order on Google Photos, and so I can go back through them by date, time, year, and actually find them where they actually fit in. And then there's a few that are out of order, but I can just change the dates on them, and they'll pop them right into the right place. Once you get started on archiving something like this, the stuff just keeps popping out of the woodwork, so to speak, things you didn't expect. I've even found photos on the internet and family websites and so forth that I had never seen before, like my grandfather's photographs, and my mother when she was a little child, and my uncle and aunts, and I had never seen them before. My hometown website had a lot of old photographs, so I thought that was an interesting thing to include on my archive too. It's good to share some of these things because people are just as interested in what I can share with them as I am with what they can share with me, I think. Because I was glad to get some of those old photographs I had never seen, and I'm sure some of the things that I have a record of, they would be interested in that too. Some of the most interesting and important things that you can have in your archive is actual things like certificates, diplomas, accomplishments. I've even included some things like maps of where we went on a vacation. I think that's interesting to a lot of people because when they just look at the photos, they can't really figure out where was this photo taken, or what's going on here. So I actually just found the map online and printed it and put it in with the photos so people wouldn't have to try to figure it out. Otherwise, they could just look at the map and say, oh, that's where they were. I don't know if you ever get finished with it, but my goal is to have a permanent digital file on a flash drive so that I don't have to depend on Google Photos to maintain it, because I'm a little bit leery of having something out there on the cloud that I'm not in control of, really. You know, it may last forever on Google Photos, I don't know, but I'd rather have a hard backup on it so that in the future somebody can just, you know, look into it if that's possible in the future. I'm guessing they'll still have a way to get into flash drives, just like we have a way to play 78 RPM records. You know, I've become a lot more conscious lately that, you know, these things need to be kept in order so you don't have to go back and sort through them more. And Google Photos has helped me a lot with that, because just about every photo I take goes on there and it's already in order when it goes on there, so I don't have to worry about sorting it again, and that's a big help. The best way to get started with archiving something like this is to make a calendar, and you know, just start by listing the years like I did, and filling in the little spaces. And you know, this is not something that's going to be accomplished in a day's time. It's going to take a long time, so just remember you're going to have to be persistent and be patient and just work on it, you know, whenever you feel like working on it. You don't have to do it 8 hours a day every day, but you can piece it together, you know, slowly, and just be patient and take your time and work on it when you feel like working on it. You know, you don't want to get frustrated and throw it all in the trash. When I went through the photographs, I eliminated a lot of things like landscapes. I didn't include a lot of landscapes in these archives because there was, you know, just no interest that I could think of. And but then there were others, you know, where it's, you know, important to have those landscapes, like, you know, the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, it's like telling a story. Is it interesting or is it not interesting? If you're trying to archive things and get them in a chronological order, you know, some of it is, you know, kind of cemented into your mind, but then your mind can play tricks on you too. You know, I know some events that I thought happened at a certain time actually happened at a different time. You know, I may have been close in a year or two, I guess, but then when you start piecing it all together, putting it in order, then some of the little pieces don't fit. You know, it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You find that a piece doesn't fit, and then you have to go back and recalculate and figure out, you know, where it actually does fit. And so it's just one big long puzzle that you have to figure out. And you know, most of the pieces are easy, but some of them are a little bit difficult. There's a whole lot that you can connect to and you know, bring out and expose. And you know, also, you know, it's beneficial, I guess, to you know, just be able to share all your memories with other people. You know, stuff that they may not remember and may want to remember, and you know, bring back some good memories for them.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Have a nice day.